it. Have you ever felt like time was playing tricks on you? A moment of déjà vu, a memory that feels like it belongs to someone else? What if I told you there's a story, a chilling urban legend, about a man who didn't just feel this way, but actually stepped outside of time itself? This is the story of the man who walked beyond time. Our tale begins in a quiet, forgotten corner of old Europe, in a town so small it barely registered on most maps. The year was 1851, one chilly autumn morning. The townspeople were startled by the sight of a man wandering dazed and confused in the town square. He wasn't dressed like anyone they had ever seen. His clothes were strange, made of a material that seemed both futuristic and out of place. He carried a small, odd-looking satchel and clutched a peculiar metal object. The local constable, a man named Sergeant Muller, approached him cautiously. The stranger's eyes were wide, with a fear that seemed to transcend simple confusion. When Muller asked for his name and where he came from, the man's reply sent a ripple of disbelief through the small crowd that had gathered. He spoke a garbled version of German, difficult to understand, but he managed to convey his name, Joffa Vorin, and his home, a country he called Sacria, located on a continent named Laxarit. Now, you and I know there's no such place as Sacria and no continent called Laxaria on any map we've ever seen. Sergeant Muller and the townspeople were just as baffled. They thought he was a madman, or perhaps a spy with a very poorly constructed cover story. They searched his belongings, hoping for a clue. Inside his satchel, they found maps, but the coastlines and land masses depicted were completely alien. They showed continents and oceans that simply did not exist. The mystery deepened. Vorin claimed he was shipwrecked while traveling from Laxaria to another unknown continent. He insisted a storm had thrown him overboard, and when he washed ashore, he found himself in this strange, unfamiliar world. He couldn't comprehend why no one had heard of his homeland. To him, Sacria was as real as Germany was to the townspeople. He described its geography, its people, and its customs in vivid detail. Was he a lunatic, a highly imaginative liar? The authorities were stumped. They took him in for questioning, but his story never changed. He remained consistent, his descriptions of his world unwavering. He could point to his home on his own strange maps, but was utterly lost on theirs. He claimed the 5 great continents on his world were Sacria, Afla, Asla, and Eupla. The names meant nothing to anyone. Here's where it gets even stranger. Joffa Vorin was examined by doctors who found him to be in perfect physical and mental health, aside from his disorientation. He wasn't suffering from any known delusion. He was intelligent, articulate, and genuinely bewildered by his situation. He had no identification, no papers, nothing that could link him to any known place on Earth. He was, for all intents and purposes, a ghost. This incident was documented in several old European texts and journals from the time. One account, published in a book called A Guide to the Practical Study of Scrying, mentions the strange case of Joffa Vorin. The author describes him as a truthful and rational man who was simply lost in a different fold of time and space. He wasn't a traveler from the future or the past, but from somewhere else entirely, a parallel dimension. Think about it. The concept of a multiverse of infinite parallel worlds is something modern physics is seriously exploring today with theories like string theory. But back in 1851, it was the stuff of pure fantasy. Yet, here was a man appearing out of nowhere with detailed knowledge of a world that mirrored our own in complexity, but was completely different in geography. He wasn't predicting the future or recalling the past. He was describing a different present. Over the next few months, Joffa Vorin became a local enigma. The townspeople grew accustomed to the strange man who spoke of a world beyond their own. He was harmless, a gentle soul lost and far from home. But his story took one final, baffling turn. One morning, just as suddenly as he had appeared, Joffa Vorin vanished. He was gone without a trace. His cell was empty, the door still locked from the outside. His strange clothes, his satchel, and his alien maps were all that remained. But what happened to him? Did he somehow find a way back to his own dimension, back to the continent of Laxeria and the country of Secria? Did he simply slip through the cracks of reality once more, or is there a more mundane explanation? Could he have been part of an elaborate hoax, a prank that a small group of people managed to pull off with incredible skill? If it was a hoax, it was one of the most detailed and pointless hoaxes in history. Who would go to such lengths to invent a man, a language, and an entire world, only to have him disappear and leave the mystery unsolved? There was no money to be made, no fame to be gained. It seems far more likely that something genuinely unexplainable occurred that day. The story of Joffa Vorin has since become a cornerstone for believers in parallel universes and interdimensional travel. It's a case that predates science fiction, a historical account that sounds like it was ripped straight from an episode of a modern sci-fi show. It challenges our understanding of reality itself. Are we alone in our universe, or are there countless other Earths, other versions of us, living out their lives just a thin veil of reality away? Perhaps Joffa Vorin's shipwreck didn't just throw him into the ocean. Maybe it threw him across dimensions. Maybe for a brief period, the walls between our world and his became thin enough for him to pass through. And if he could come here, does that mean we could theoretically go there? The questions are mind-boggling. The tale serves as a powerful reminder that there is so much we don't know about the universe. We live our lives on a tiny rock, in a small corner of a vast cosmos, governed by laws of physics we are only just beginning to understand. The story of Joffa Vorin, the man who walked beyond time, whispers of the possibility that reality is far grander, far stranger, and far more mysterious than we could ever imagine. What do you think happened to him? Was he a traveler from another dimension, a master hoaxer, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.